All right, thank you so much, TG, for your time. Of course, everybody is curious about this platinum table and who will be seated at this platinum table, and we understand it's oversubscribed for the entire event. So could you give us some insights as to some of the characters that will be sitting at that big table one with the EFF leader?
Good evening to you and viewers at home. No, I think the list is out there, is public. So yes, the platinum table was the first one to sell, the whole 1.2 million. It was the first one to sell, and followed by DP with his 750, and then the rest of the officials with 750. So we have 4 packages, which is 1.2 million, the one of president, the 750 of the officials, and then we've got the 500,000 of the MPs, and then the 250 tables of the MPLs. We want to thank South Africans, really. We were actually oversubscribed. We had to cancel people. We had to put a cut-off date and say we can't take it anymore, because the room is a room. It can only accommodate 400 people. If we extend it maybe for 420, 430, but we can't go beyond that. So this was a real success, and we want to thank each and everyone who bought the chairs, bought the tables, came to support. This is financing the revolution, because the revolution needs money. You'll see on Saturday when we'll be celebrating our 10 years, the beautiful setup there at FNB Stadium with the buses, food, sanitary pads, water, toilets. It's just going to be a beautiful scenery. Sound and stage is beautiful, it's buzzing. They were sending me pictures earlier on. The lineup of artists. So it's just going to be real festival of the poor on Saturday.
Speaking of Saturday, you're celebrating your 10 years, but of course you are essentially launching that important campaign ahead of 2024. And do you believe with the new entrants that the EFF will still resonate with the same South Africans it resonated with, and more, if possible, in the 2024 elections?
Yes, we will. No, we're not launching our manifesto on Saturday. The manifesto will be launched next year sometime. The leadership will announce. But we've had an overwhelming support from South Africans. I mean, we are a party that went to parliament the first time, not even with 500,000 members. Today we stand here, it's over 1 million and counting. I mean, when I checked my bank account, because that's when I know that the membership is growing, the membership account, it was just buzzing. And I'm like, wow, so these people are still joining in their numbers, even though the campaign this year is actually not join EFF, but it's register to vote. So we want to thank each and everyone. The EFF resonates with everybody because we speak truth, no matter whether it's painful or it's not painful, and we stick with it. It gets to people that we stick with the truth, and they've seen the light that the EFF is actually the only party that is going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Now we've got municipalities who are delivering services to our people. Joburg, Ekurhuleni, eThekwini, MMCs is Northwest, and MMCs in Mpumalanga. So the EFF is now really on the ground, but not just speaking, but now rolling their sleeves and actually working and delivering services to our people. So we expect nothing but total victory next year, 2024. And we can assure our people that we're going to take over the state and run the affairs of the state, because at the rate at which the state is going is collapsing, and we can't sit back and fold our arms when we see that the future of South Africa is actually going down the drain. We are young. The ANC is led by old people who will not be here 30 years from now. So they are taking decisions that they know for a fact they won't be here 30 years from now. We will be here 30 years from now. And that's what the South Africa we want to build, a prosperous South Africa for everybody. And we are on that path, and we are on the right path.
Thank you so much, TG. Can we get a cutaway something?
comments. And after Commissar Dunga, we will ask Dr. Dumi to get ready immediately after Commissar Dunga. Commissar Dunga, over to you.
Thank you very much, National Chairperson. We would like to take this opportunity to welcome the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Selomalema, the Deputy President, Nico Floyd Shivambu, the National Spokesperson who is presiding over this beautiful event, Commissar Veronica Mente, the Secretary General of the EFF, Commissar Marshall Dlamini, the Deputy Secretary General, Commissar Bopi Mailula, and the Treasurer General, Commissar Ompile Mautwe. Members of the Royal Council who are here, members of the Central Command Team, members of all the provincial command team structures, the regional command team structures, and members of the regional command team, specifically of Egoruleni. We'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome all EFF leaders from all relevant provinces and extend a special welcome to all of our beautiful guests this evening from the business community, key stakeholders, and all dignitaries that are present here today. You look absolutely amazing. We also want to thank you for your continued effort and the continued support and contribution towards the mission for economic freedom in over the past 10 years. The celebration of the EFF 10th birthday at this venue, Emperor's Palace Convention Center, is somehow a symbolic event in numerous ways. Those who have had an opportunity to experience the Codesa Walkway in the South Wing will have seen that just a few meters from where we are seated today is the inspiring walkway that gives insight to one of South Africa's most significant periods in our history. The Codesa talks were held at the World Trade Center. That is now known as Emperor's Palace, where we are seated today. These were the very same talks that led to a democratic South Africa that today has allowed for the EFF to fully participate in and really fight for the struggle of our people. We, however, maintain that political freedom without economic freedom is meaningless. To us, the struggle for economic freedom in our lifetime continues, a struggle that could have ended in these walls in 1994 had it not been for the sunset clause agreed upon by the former liberation movement. As we gather here to celebrate the EFF's 10th anniversary celebration, we must reflect and also appreciate that we need to continue to fight until we achieve this economic freedom in our lifetime. Today, President, manufacturing contributes 14% of Gauteng's GDP, while more than 43% comes from finance and government services. We need to really turn this around. And the only way that we can really do it is to re-industrialize Gauteng in order to create sustainable jobs and grow our economy. There are more than 2.6 million people in Gauteng who are more than willing and ready to work, but there are just no job opportunities. This event, held just a day after the EFF 10th anniversary celebration at Marikana Kopi, serves as a poignant reminder of our history and origin. This history has informed our journey and made us much more stronger than we are. Today, we see the manifestation of that strength in the support from all of you who are gathered here today. Your understanding and acknowledgement of our past fuels our confidence that those present here today stand in unity with our cause. We'll never forget where we come from as it continues to guide our path towards economic equality and social justice. While we celebrate our achievements tonight, we must also acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead of us. The fight for economic freedom is not an easy one. It requires unity, perseverance, and an unwavering determination. And this gala dinner, the coming together of different stakeholders, of representatives of different sectors, showing the willingness to associate and support the EFF and its quest for economic emancipation of the African people, shows that not only are we in the right track, but also we are not alone in this mission and that we are ready to ultimately govern. For that, we'd like to thank you and once more extend a warm welcome to Gauteng and Egoruleni in particular. We wish you all a wonderful and memorable evening. Thank you very much.
tutu Baba Kelly Aibo what ifula yefoti wenze njani tutu babisa Aibo Baba Kelly what ifuli we followed paper. Sizongena 1 by 1. Sizongena 2 by 2. Sizongena I go. Oh, gena tutu. Sensation. Sizongena 2 by 2. Sizongena 3 by 3. Oh, gena Noah. Amanda Kula EFF Kula kwazi kwamnandi ukuba lapha Ngicinga lapha makandithi it's nice to be here Kumnandi ukuba lapha Diposa kuwe Nkosi Yesu Diposa kuwe Nkosi Zona izikomo zami ziwile Hey Nkosi izikomo zami zonke zithathiwe nguSathane awenze kanje thina awenze kanje andiyekelelwa kuwe Nophalalanje andiyekelelwa Diyekelelwa kuwe Sikelu kolo no tanto iyo Sikelu kolo no tanto 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 Give me fighters, give me fighters, give me fighters Wakamkezantu pepela Asiyothenga mayeza sobolalisa Yamazo Wakamkezantu Asiyothenga mayeza Ingathi nakho bakhona Yamazo Wakamkezantu Yenkulunkulu ncela undipha amaphiko Belekise Ngize Diyabona umuntu wami Uzundiphathe kahle bayangisabawela abanye Uzundiphathe kahle bayangisabawela abanye Ndingumzalwane Are you ready for 2024? Are you ready for 2024? Are you ready to win? Uba ni ready ndiyanicela nikhe niphakame nje nime ngenyawo. Can you please stand up on your feet? I want us to do a holy mass. I want us to do a holy mass. Are you ready? On your marks, get set. We are ready for EFF. On your marks, get set. We are ready for EFF. What's up? On your marks, get set. We are ready. I take it down. Are you ready? If you are ready, can you take something, even if it's a tablecloth? Take something. Then see the patani flags, party flags, sabanazo FNP. On your marks, get set. We are ready. Ivo, on your marks, get set. Asam. Oh, we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Ivo, on your marks, get set. We are ready. On your marks, get set. We are ready. Ivo. Oh, we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Ivo. Oh, we are ready. Oh, we are ready. Shoo. On your marks, get set. We are ready. On your marks, get set. We are ready. Asam. 1, 2. 1, 2. Was. 1, 2. 1, 2. I go. A song. 1, 2. I go. Get set, we are ready. On your marks, get set, we are ready. Jehova, efuliminya. Oh, Jehova, efuliminya. Ageko. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, but bethusile mcinga. Ungasikhuphulele ushukela. We are just at the beginning. So please, let's refill. Let's hydrate ourselves because it looks like the EFF is going to dehydrate people here. Let's hydrate ourselves in every way possible. We are going to now tone it down a bit and call upon the Deputy Secretary General, Commissar Poppy Mailola, to come and acknowledge our beautiful guests that are here with us. Commissar. And immediately after Commissar Poppy, let's please get Dr. Dumi to come on stage, DSG.
Thank you very much, National Chair. Greetings to the President and Commander-in-Chief and the officials. Greetings to the commissars and fighters present. A special greeting to all the esteemed guests present in our midst today, in particular, the bereaved families of the fallen heroes of Marikana and the young, brilliant minds that won our essay competition. All protocol observed. Thank you to each and every one of you for braving the Joburg's winter and being present at this auspicious occasion as we celebrate 10 years of unbroken struggle towards economic freedom in our lifetime. Gentlemen, you look immaculate. Ladies, you look exquisite. This anniversary marks a monumental decade since the emergence of the revolutionary economic emancipation movement and the rising of the EFF flag across the country, the continent, the diaspora, and the world. It is against this backdrop that we are gathered here to celebrate this milestone. You are all welcome and hope you enjoy the evening. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Good evening. Are you well tonight? Okay, let's try again. Good evening, everyone. Happy birthday. It's such a beautiful 10 years that we've experienced with the EFF. And we love the EFF. We are EFF. CIC, DP, and the entire leadership, all the pastors, I greet you all in the name of Jesus. Amen. You are here, and you said you'd never leave. We need you, Lord. We need you, Lord. Say you are here.
You are here,
And you said
you'd never
we
leave.
need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
Say we need you, Lord. We need you, Lord. We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
We need you, Lord.
promises remain. We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord. We
trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord. We
trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
We trust you, Lord.
Say you are King, you are King, and you reign forever. Reign in my life, reign in my life. Say you are King, and you reign. Reign in my life, reign in my life. Say you are King, and you reign. Reign in my life, reign in my life. Yes, you are King Jesus, and you reign. Reign in my life, 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 reign in my life. Say we love you, Lord. 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 Yes, we love you, Lord. 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 Wafiga kimi Kolupila kobe Paga wampefulela Wampefulela Gakola Kolupila Seguia bonga Ia bonga Moyo nele Wafiga kimi Wafiga kimi Gakola Kolupila kobe Ia bonga
wafika muna, wafika muna, kapweta mupilo sapelige. If it had not been for the Lord, who was always on my side, the enemy would have swallowed us, would have drowned in the waters, but our souls have found an escape, a hiding place in you. The fowler's net is broken. Our help is in the name of the Lord. No, nothing without you. Without you, you are the air that I breathe. I can't live without you. Without you, Jesus. In you I live and move and have my being.
let's not be stingy with applause. Another round of applause for Dr. Tumi. Thank you very much, Dr. Tumi. We are indeed revived, and we are about to receive the message of today. But before we go there, I'm going to call upon Spokazi to come to the stage. And after Spokazi, we will call upon our Deputy President, Floyd Nyiko Shivambu, to come to the stage. Spokazi, the stage is yours.
greetings to all the pastors, all the dignitaries in the house. Everyone, greetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amandla. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Viva EFF, viva. No, thank you very much, Sipokazi. So, the last song she was singing, President, says, Ukuqala ko bulum kukoyika uYehova. So, in Sitsonga, very kusungula ka butlhari. Ukuchava xikwembu. So, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of he who was, is, and is to come. That is what Sipokazi was singing about. And thank you very much for all the artists that have sang here. And my task is to introduce the president, of course. But I was saying to the chairperson president of Gauteng that when he speaks here, he should have emphasized that we're in the city of Ekurhuleni, where the EFF is government alone. The chairperson of the province is the member of the mayoral committee responsible for finance, and the enterprise project management office, plus also is responsible for ICT. But we also have the MMC responsible for real estate, who is responsible for 56,000 properties here in the city of Ekurhuleni. But we're also responsible for waste and environment. We're responsible for water, sanitation, and electricity. So despite those who are speaking about electricity, we as the city of Ekurhuleni, as EFF government, we're most likely going to end load shedding before everyone else. But we're also responsible for community health, sports, arts, and culture. We're responsible for a variety of other functions. But of central emphasis is that most people tend to mistake the city of Ekurhuleni and Johannesburg. We're not in Johannesburg, we're in the city of Ekurhuleni. And we're looking from you as business people for investors. We want to gentrify some of the cities here, particularly Germiston and Kempton Park, so that they are much more acceptable. We have got more than 20 million people passing the OR Tambo International Airport annually. So there's a huge economic dividend which you as business investors can look into here in the city of Ekurhuleni, which is governed by the economic freedom fighters. That is a very important thing to highlight, because we must enjoy our time here in the EFF governed city of Ekurhuleni. We must always emphasize that. I understand that the South African Music Awards was having difficulties. We must host it here in the city of Ekurhuleni as well, so that we have got some relevance. Now, my task is a simple task, is to call on stage the Commander-in-Chief and President of the Economic Emancipation Movement, who has led this struggle for economic emancipation, even before the official formation of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So we always referred to him as the Commander-in-Chief in the struggle for economic emancipation. So the struggle for economic freedom far precedes the formation of the EFF as an organization. That is why on the 11th of June 2013, we're asking the question as to upon which platforms do we carry forward the struggle for economic emancipation. And then on the 26th and 27th of July 2013, we took a resolution that to carry forward this struggle for economic emancipation in our lifetime, we should constitute the EFF as a revolutionary, leftist, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, pan-African organization that is going to fight for the liberation of all people. The pan-Africanist character is demonstrated by the fact that here we've got the president and deputy president of the EFF in Namibia, who are members of parliament, in the Namibian parliament as well. And we have the president, they are there. We've got the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters in Liberia. They are going to elections this year. And I'm sure that the president of Liberia will be elected in the Senate of Liberia as well. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, the people of South Africa, all Africans in the continent and the diaspora, I'm introducing to you a commander-in-chief, a revolutionary, a visionary, a leader in the war for total emancipation of our people, the president and commander-in-chief of the EFF. Comrade President.
Kama jumana mane matipia bakala katipia tangma ya penama. Ya baba bako patro be amela kama tami huli maziane. Bada he wena uzarusha te wala dula jabango. Bada kila baba bako patro be amela kama tami huli maziane. Bada he kila butidia la manane la maka malilimu. Bada he wena uzarusha te wala dula jabango. Wena lavo matumi abusidia la manone, lavo magama lilimu. Barike lavo mukuta limwe. Barike lavo kata memadulake nyakama biane. Barike lavo machapa la malilimu lebu ya pulone. Na metapenya la mesipa. Lavo kata memadulake nyakama biane. Barike lavo manu abachabe. Wena utarukia lela. Mwana mle paurila biranu kani apala. Dua wajamu kakatela misipa. Yukobe jale mwana mle pale muizagai. Bari mwana mle pamle tene afire. Utitana mwana msate mutualedi. Mwana mle patu aurari kubo. Irishate. Letane pirige, atome pirige, luruma lagi tameriva. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ralebo Amsha, Deputy President Vuyan. Since we came in here, there's been a corner there that has been making noise. Our organization thrives on discipline, and not just discipline, maximum discipline. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Deputy President for the introduction, but equally join him in acknowledging the international leadership of our movement from Liberia, from Namibia, the president of Podemo. I've seen him here. Our families are also here. I know my Shibambo family came out in their numbers. The Malema family came out in their numbers. And our senior counsels, I've seen all of them here. The lawyers that are always with us. Because we are always in a permanent trouble. And we also want to thank Ntate Maja. You know, I do things differently. So, because I don't know my father, I get people when they don't have kids, they adopt kids. So I don't have a father, I adopted a father. It's the other way around. So I adopted Ntate Maja to be my father. So he's here with us. He just joined us from a very beautiful holiday with his beautiful wife, Maldives. You never took your father to a spaza shop. I took mine to Maldives. So it's very important that we always spoil our parents when the time permits. Let me also acknowledge our national chairperson who was referred to earlier on here by the chairperson of Gauteng as a national spokesperson. He's not a national spokesperson. He's our national chairperson. Secretary General with your beautiful wife. Deputy Secretary General, the Treasurer General. I saluted our Deputy President who came here with his beautiful daughter, Katekani, who has grown so much to accompany his father to these important occasions. I also welcome members of the Central Command team who are here and members of the War Council who made it to this important occasion. Let me send my special greetings to General Holomisa, the President of the United Democratic Movement, who made his time to come here. Please rise, General, so they can see that you are here, because the Deputy President and the DSG have given this item of introduction of guests to me. We also want to greet all of you, the captains of the industry, the legal fraternity. I've seen our former national chairperson is here, our former advocate Dalimpofu, our former Secretary General is here, ambitious advocate Godrich Gadi, and I've seen our DSG, Klengwem Kalipi, it's here. If I'm not wrong, TG, I saw the former TG in your company, she's also here. So all the former officials of the EFF, the first officials of the EFF, and the current ones are here to mark this important milestone. Also, we want to send the special, really, gratitude to all those who bought the tables. Because there was a story when the TG issued the first advert that was selling table, and Malema's table is selling for 1.2. In a sarcastic way, the media of South Africa said, who will buy a table to sit with Malema? For those who've got an ear and access to them, tell them that Malema's table was sold 3 times more than what we had expected as the leadership of the EFF. This has confirmed to me and to the colleagues that we are having some brave and emerging black business people who are not scared of the establishment, who are challenging the establishment and saying no one is going to dictate to us as to how we spend our resources. I send my greetings to all of you, the guests, and our support staff, and all ladies and gentlemen who have gathered here today. We extend our greetings to the leadership of the EFF here in Gauteng province, led by Commissar Anikuruleni MMC of Finance, Nkululeko Dunga. The Deputy President explained that we are government here where we are, in Ekurhuleni. And we did not choose this venue coincidentally. We chose it because that's where we govern. So in the language of the liberation, this is a liberated zone in South Africa. The leadership of all provinces have seen on video my chairperson, the only female chairperson from Limpopo, and all the regions of the EFF who have made it here. Economic freedom fighters, members of parliament, provincial legislatures, and municipal councils and members of mayoral committees deployed in the city of Ekurhuleni, eThekwini, Nelson Mandela, Mogale City, and Western District Municipality. Those are some of the liberated zones where the EFF governs, and governs in a manner that has got impact in the lives of our people. I've seen a senior council, Mukai Tobi, and Lawrence Odes is also here. To our distinguished members of business community and our valued stakeholders who have joined us tonight, we extend our heartfelt greetings and welcome you all to this occasion. Your support over the years is an essential part of our journey. We also take this opportunity to express our profound gratitude for your important contribution to the EFF. Your support in promoting multi-party democracy has been critical to our growth and success over the past 10 years. Commissars, fighters, and friends, today is no ordinary day, and this is no ordinary Gala Dinner. We gather here to mark the 10th anniversary of the economic freedom fighters as we reflect on a decade of unbroken struggle, resilience, and unwavering commitment to economic freedom. Let us not only celebrate how far we have come, but also look ahead to the journey that still awaits us. We often say we have an appointment with the future. Many people do not understand what we mean when we say this, but every day our action makes its meaning clearer. This is not just a phrase, it is our promise to keep moving forward to economic freedom. This appointment is more than a simple meeting with the future. It is our firm commitment that must guide us in everything we do. The appointment we have with the future has been directing us through every achievement we have celebrated today, despite all subjective and objective challenges we have confronted in our fight for economic freedom. To not arrive at this appointment will be more than a missed opportunity. It will mean betraying a generational mission, a mission we have committed to in order to achieve economic freedom in our lifetime. We will not let that happen. We must and we will honor this appointment because it is more than a date on a calendar. It is a promise to our generation and the ones to follow. It has been a journey of unbroken struggle, and we felt it was important to invite those in the business community and key stakeholders to engage the leadership of the EFF, reflect and plan for the future. We formed the EFF when the world was still trying to recover from the aftermath of the 2008 global financial crisis. Comrades, our organization today celebrates many achievements, and it is really very proud to have hosted the families of those who had died, in particular, the widows of those who died in Marikana. They are here with us today because they are the most important people in our life. We derive our existence from Marikana. Seated here, it's a man called Adriano Mazzotti, and more said, I'll ask them to stand up, because these are the two and part of their partners who have given us money on the day we were launching the EFF. When the IEC asked us to pay for money, me and Floyd had nothing. We looked at each other in the eyes and said, what is going to happen? At that time, they asked for 650,000, and we had no means, none whatsoever. Later to be told through a telephone call, Mazzotti has got a very unique voice. Brother, the money is paid. Then we knew that we were good to go. That is how the EFF was allowed to contest the first election in 2014. We are very proud of Adriano Mazzotti and are not ashamed to associate with him. We don't know his business because he's not our business partner. He donated money to the EFF like all of you who bought tables here. We never asked you, what do you do for your business? We just declared. We declared because it was not a secret that the money was donated by Adriano Mazzotti. So we do not run an underworld, we are running an above world. And do not be scared that we are part of anything Mazzotti does. Mazzotti has never been arrested. Neither has Mazzotti ever been charged. I've been charged. I've been arrested. I've seen the door of prison for my political beliefs. My properties were taken by SARS. I was thrown to the streets. But that has never happened to Mazzotti, to be characterized as a criminal by those who hold a view that he should not have given the EFF money to register with the IEC. He is hated more for having made it possible for this organization to exist and give trouble to the establishment and white monopoly capital, which is just at the door of it, by the way. Once he jumps into that door and become a white monopoly capital, he will see the might of the EFF himself. The world was experiencing a persistent conflict between labor and capital when the EFF was formed. Here in South Africa, the struggle was highlighted by the workers' strike in the platinum belt of Marikana in Rustenburg. When mine workers demanded 12,500 minimum living wage, the ANC-led government responded with violence and killed them, resulting in 34 mine workers losing their lives at the hands of the South African police services. This event left an unforgettable mark on our collective consciousness. Marikana is a symbolic in so many ways. Just yesterday, we held a birthday celebration at Marikana Kopi to remind ourselves of the reason behind the formation of the EFF. Marikana represents not just the struggle between workers and multinational company, London Mine, but also the struggle between emerging black-owned business and established white-owned business. Marikana reflected the painful reality that those who control and benefit from our mineral resources, financial sector, agriculture, and what remains of manufacturing are the very same individuals who profited from colonial and apartheid laws and government. There is something about Marikana that many in business community may not have recognized or understood. Marikana also served as a reminder of the escalating inequality we continue to witness in the post-apartheid South Africa. This path has led South Africa into conflict with itself, a war that will not have any winners, but will leave us all as losers unless we come together as political parties, business and key stakeholders, strengthen our multi-party democracy, and support all initiatives that will promote participation in the election system like Mazodi did. We survived this difficult moment because we were surrounded by pastors who surround us here today. Pastor Sololo, Pastor Koma, and Pastor Sephora, and many others came closer to us when it was not fashionable to do so. They kept praying for us when they saw us, and even on the phones, kept on sending us messages to tell us that we are in their prayers and we must continue the good fight. The EFF was formed around the same time when multiple studies had begun to label South Africa as one of the world's most unequal societies, where 10% of the population owns more than 80% of the wealth, with the color of one's skin serving as a significant determinant of which side of these numbers one found themselves on. More than 50% of the population is considered to be living in poverty, while 18.2 million people live in extreme poverty. Even the World Bank, which has often been protective of South Africa's mismanagement of economic policy, has now come out to confirm that indeed South Africa is the most unequal society in the world. This is a country that has the world's largest resources of platinum group metals, a country that has the capacity to produce 100% of cement and building material locally and can manufacture 80% of the steel the country needs from locally mined iron ore, chrome, and manganese. From the beginning, our failure as a nation to transfer wealth from the few minority whites to the majority of our people through meaningful participation in the economy has been influenced by patterns of land ownership. This was confirmed by the first land audit published in 2013, which revealed that 79% of land was privately owned and 14% was state-owned. A second audit in 2017 further confirmed that whites owned 72% of farms and agricultural holdings by individuals, landowners, while Africans own a mere 4% of productive land. As we celebrate the EFF's 10th anniversary, it is important to appreciate that the material conditions have not improved for our people and many of the emerging businesses, and this is reflected in the numbers. When we formed the EFF in July 2013, South Africa's economy was experiencing a growth of 2.5%. In the past 10 years, our economy has continued to regress without any concrete or believable response by the government. Between the years 2019 and 2022, South Africa's GDP only grew by 0.3%. In 2013, more than 7.7 million people were unemployed. The unemployment rate was at 35.6%. Today, 11.9 million people are unemployed. The unemployment rate today is 42.4%. What is more concerning is the fact that for the first time in the post-apartheid South Africa, more than 50% of people who could be at institutions of higher learning, training, or employment are sitting at home doing nothing. In 2013, the inflation rate stood at 5.7%. However, as of the end of 2022, the inflation rate was recorded at 6.9%. The lending interest rate was a little over 8% in 2013. Today, the figures has increased to 11.75%. Many of the working class families and small businesses already under pressure will lose their homes and livelihoods. Government finances have deteriorated even further than they were when we formed the EFF in 2013. And this demonstrates the mismanagement of economic policy. While we speak of numbers, those of you in the business community have experienced this firsthand. In 2013, the debt service costs were recorded at 88.3 billion, constituting 2.8% of the GDP. Today, the figures has increased almost fourfold to over 340 billion a year. Today, we spend more on servicing our loans as a country than we do on basic education, and we spend more on servicing our loans than we do on health. Our nation's overall gross loan debt has increased from 1.4 trillion, which represented 38.6% of the GDP in 2013, to 4.3 trillion, accounting for 73.6% of our GDP. These figures are not only a reflection of the worsening state of the economy or public finances, but it is also a clear indication that the much celebrated National Treasury is not celebrated for managing our finances properly. The National Treasury is celebrated for insisting on neoliberal policies, even when there is empirical evidence that these policies are doing more damage than good, particularly for businesses. We must take a closer look at the role of the National Treasury in the collapse of our economy and public finances. We are not surprised by reports that the same department has the highest number of unqualified senior managers. The challenge we face as a country is not only the collapse of the economy and our public finances. There is a deliberate collapse of the strategic state-owned companies that should be at the forefront of South Africa's reindustrialization and development. Also, it is the very same SOEs that must create downstream opportunities in logistics, energy generation, manufacturing, and other key sectors for business. Take a look at Dinner, for example. For the past 3 years, the company has struggled to pay salaries for its roughly 2,800 employees. Employees were forced to go to court to get their salaries. Even when Parliament approved an additional 3 billion in 2022, we're told that none of the new allocation can be used to pay workers' salaries. Instead, banks and loans were prioritized over workers who were losing their homes and were struggling to feed their families. When we formed the EFF in 2013, Dinero was making 70 million profit and their revenue were close to 3.9 billion a year. All 4,200 employees were paid and were paid on time. Today, the staff is gone and revenue halved to 1.9 billion. In 2013, Transnet, I'm told Gama was supposed to, I hope he's here. Transnet used to make profit under Gama, who has joined us here today. Transnet was making 4.3 billion profit and had 50 billion in revenue. The company managed to remain profitable due to high port and pipeline volumes. There have been attempts to sabotage Transnet in order to justify privatizing the company. Today, we are informed that Transnet infrastructure, such as ports, is being privatized without any consideration for how this will affect small and emerging businesses. And I said to Gama, because he did good for our people when he was a CEO, they never got anything. Floyd never got anything. So when I say I must know, I also refer to Floyd, who are one thing. So I get, he gets. If I don't get, he doesn't get. So we never got anything, nothing. But I said to him, because he was a good man who did good for our own state-owned company, and he was victimized for being black and African in particular. I've said to him many times, if you need support of the EFF in terms of legal representatives, We are here to give you the best lawyers and will pay for them because you were a good servant of our people. And all those who came after you destroyed what used to be a pride of our nation. I hope Ngogai Toby or Advocate Rhodes know that a case that they will do for free is coming their way. ESCOM is the lifeblood of our economy. Without electricity, we don't have an economy. Job creation is stifled, and for many people, putting food on the table becomes challenging. The Township Entrepreneurs Alliance conducted a survey earlier this year. It revealed that during load-shedding periods, 64% of township small businesses ceased operations. Over 66% of businesses owners reported retrenching workers due to load shedding. NERSA increases electricity prices and attributes the rise to load shedding. The South African Reserve Bank increases interest rates, blaming load shedding. Stats SA reports that more than 11 million people are unemployed, attributing it to load shedding. Food prices surge and it's blamed on food security. In the midst of this crisis, there are people who are hell-bent on privatization of electricity generation for the sake of profits that will benefit only a few interested in quick profit. The premature closure of the Komati power station was not just misguided. It's the epitome of the industrial scale looting that is happening before us. This is the real state capture we are seeing today. If the Guptas did a state capture, they were playing. What we are experiencing today with ESCOM makes Guptas look like a joke. Today, more than 300 people in communities near Camden, Grootvlei, and Hendrina, who were promised training as part of the so-called just transition when the Komati power station was shut down, are still waiting stranded, unemployed, and without income. But the collapse of the economy, public finance, and state-owned enterprises is just a symptom of a far broader systematic problem, corruption. When we formed the EFF, we correctly characterized South Africa as a kleptocracy. Every day we witness government leaders openly looting state resources, pursuing self-enrichment without shame, while the people of Hammanskraal lack access to clean water and drinkable water. The people of Spruitview in Mooiplaas live in a dump site. The residents of Stweta in Alexander are packed together like rats, and children in the Eastern Cape continue to use pit toilets, yet your state president goes and unveils Mandela's statue. Those close to political leaders will continue to grow richer and more corrupt because they know that their proximity to these leaders grants them immunity from prosecution. When we write questions in Parliament to probe questionable contracts and tenders, we are confronted with talk of confidentiality and classified reports. The victims of corruption are not only the poor. The business suffers the same fate when you institutionalize corruption and protect those in office from investigation and prosecution. Those with talent, hard work, entrepreneurial spirit will be overlooked. This is how you stifle innovation, hard work, growth, and societal progress. What is even more concerning is the fact that you can face prosecution for being seen with the leadership of the EFF, for refusing to support certain ANC leaders, or for choosing to speak out against corruption. You can be arrested for reporting corruption and have the one who is corrupt promoted to the highest office in the land. We have a personal experience of persecution that are motivated by political vendettas and agendas. We are not speaking about things we know nothing of. We are aware of many young business people who have suffered the same fate and continue to suffer. This is the background against which we formed the EFF. To fully appreciate the journey we have traveled thus far, we encourage those who have not had a chance to read our founding manifesto to do so. It will give you a broader appreciation of what you have contributed to and continue to support. We do not only characterize the current political and economic condition of South Africa, we go even further We offer concrete and practical solutions to many of the challenges facing South Africa. We understand that some in the business community might overlook the solutions the EFF proposes under the assumption that they will not benefit. However, a closer look will reveal that while we have unapologetically placed the working class, the poor, and the marginalized as the primary and immediate beneficiaries of our struggle for economic freedom, our strategic mission is to create a system that will guarantee meaningful economic participation for all, including the business community. Take, for example, our cardinal pillar number 1, land expropriation without compensation for equal redistribution in use. We maintain that all the land should be transferred to the ownership and custodianship of the state. Despite all the mischaracterizations and attempts to demonize this demand of many black Africans, this remains a bold move towards restorative justice and a path towards transferring wealth to the majority of the people. Many critics claim this will not work, that it will hurt business and South Africa will descend into chaos. But we disagree, and here is why. First of all, there is not the first time South Africa transferred strategic natural resources into the custodianship of the state in an attempt to address the colonial and apartheid imbalances. We have successfully transferred mineral and petroleum resources into the custody of the state in 2002. Today, you need a license to prospect and mine any mineral resources. Even with the license, the minerals still belong to the state on behalf of the people of South Africa. The same applies to water. All water is subject to the state control. None of you here has ever woken up one day and said, because the water is owned by the state, I feel like a less owner of my water that comes out of my tap. Yet you are not the owner of the water. The water is state-owned. You have never felt like the water coming through your tap is brought to you by someone else. You always felt that it is your water. Even when your children play with it, you always say to them, do not play with my water. You never said to them, do not play with the state water, because you know you are the state. We assert that the state custodianship of the land under democratic and effective state will give businesses a predictable business environment. Our policy is that business will get land use licenses for 25 years, which can be renewed if the land is used as planned. This is not only about history deciding who gets what, where the beneficiaries of colonialism and apartheid will continue to benefit. We must address historical imbalances, support innovation, value creation, and entrepreneurial spirit. What many people don't know is that many multinational corporations are not interested in owning land. They will prefer a situation where they lease land in special economic zones with secured land tenure to operate their business. No one owns land in Atlantis Special Economic Zone. No one owns land in Komazi Special Economic Zone, Richards Bay Industrial Zone, East London Industrial Zone, Dubai Trade Port, and other special economic zones. Those are multinational companies that have invested billions on that part of the land, yet they do not own the land. Business does not need to own the land. It needs a guarantee of a land tenure. And that's what business should be obsessed with, not to be obsessed with I own this or that. As long as you are guaranteed that your investment will come back and government will protect your occupation of that land, it's enough. Companies set up operations in these special economic zones because they have land tenure security. They get access to preferential 15% corporate income tax. They qualify for tax relief, building allowance, and many other businesses benefits. We'll soon introduce this in the Ekurhuleni municipality where we own. If you pay closer attention to the details, the EFF land policy assures a supply to the private sector and businesses. Consider agriculture, for example. Small-scale farmers will receive meaningful state subsidies, support and protection. This is the only way we can rebuild the agricultural sector into a vibrant sector and support of the young black women and men who are venturing into this sector. From this, we can build a steadily locally supply for businesses in food production, packaging and retail. But we go further, and I said that to ensure that agriculture is sustainable, the government must source over half of its food needs from small-scale farmers. The government procures a lot of food for school nutrition programs, for hospitals, correctional facilities, police training facilities, the army, and many other facilities. This will guarantee constant demand and sustainability of agriculture and many other sectors. Our land expropriation policy is not just about correcting historical imbalances. It is also about economic growth, fair competition, and transferring wealth from the few to the many. We can correct the historical imbalances and grow the economy at the same time. Other example is our proposal for the nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy without compensation. We are often told that nationalization of strategic sectors of the economy will collapse the entire economy, but we see it differently. When the state controls strategic sectors of the economy, we do not only protect our wealth as a nation, we are also able to plan long-term and transform our society in a much coordinated manner. We need to control land, mineral resources, telecommunication, and transport infrastructure because the development of these sectors should be for the collective benefit of all and not for profit. We are not saying that business should not participate in these sectors, but the development of these strategic sectors will inherently stimulate industrialization and beneficiation within the country. You will need local business to have robust capacity to respond to the demands of downstream development, and this will require the development and promotion of skills. This is one of the many ways we can reduce the cost of manufacturing and incentivize many of the businesses that have relocated their factories to other parts of the world, such as China and India, where the state controls the development of strategic sectors of the economy for the benefit of industrialization and rapid economic growth. Like expropriation of land without compensation, nationalization of strategic sectors of the economy are very important to ensure that all of us benefit and not only the politically connected few. When we arrived in Parliament in 2014, members of Parliament were not aware that legislation did not permit state-owned companies to apply for commercial bank licenses because of how the Bank Act of 1990 is structured. It was the EFF Banks Amendment Bill we tabled in May 2018, which today allows state-owned companies to apply for a full commercial bank license and operate like mainstream banks like FNB, Standard Bank, Absa, and other commercial banks. We also introduced the South African Reserve Bank Amendment Bill to nationalize the central bank. Once the bill is passed, we should be able to have a much more frank debate about the mandate of the central bank and how its mandate should be broadened beyond protecting the value of money, but also to support employment, transformation of the financial sector, and ensure that black people can create their own financial institution that transfer wealth to the majority of our people. We really don't understand as to why are the banks, commercial banks, opposed to the state owning a bank. Because in everything where you find a private sector, there is a state ownership. Let's go to hospitals. There is a state-owned hospitals. There is private-owned hospitals. Let's go to schools. There is state-owned schools. There is private-owned schools. They still make profit even when they are state-owned schools and state-owned hospitals. Their profit has never been affected by the ownership of the state on any sector of the economy. Yet they oppose the ownership of the bank by the state. We really do not understand why should the Reserve Bank own shares as a regulator in the African bank. The Reserve Bank must transfer those bank shares to the Treasury, which will own the African Bank on behalf of the state, because Reserve Bank has got no business in participating in the ownership of banks. We take the African Bank, we make that bank commercial, we make loans accessible to black people who are always rejected when they ask for the loans, for simply because they are black. We need a bank that will be biased to the working class. We need a bank that will be biased to the Africans. We need a bank that will make you be able to buy houses and be able to buy cars, because transport is not luxury but a necessity. Fighters consider the cardinal pillar on building state and government capacity that will lead to the abolishment of tenders. For example, the business stands to benefit. We don't want businesses that are bloody suckers from government. We need businesses that are innovative. Why should there be a tender to buy toilet papers? These people who work in government do not know where toilet papers are sold. We need to build a state capacity to go and buy toilet papers. Why should there be a tender to clean when there are so many mothers of ours and fathers who clean every day at home without a tender? But when it comes to government, a tender is required for people to be hired to go and clean. Why should there be a tender to put a toilet? Because the villagers dig toilets every day without a tender. But when you come to Ikuruleni, there is toilet tender that is given out instead of empowering communities with the necessary equipment to do and build their own toilets. It is these unstrategic things which lack innovation that leads to corruption. Why must you be known that you are a tenderpreneur? There are people who have been in the toilet business for some time without tenders, because they don't rely on tenders. They make sure that it's not only about the toilet, it's about everything else that goes with the hygiene that comes with the toilet. And as a result, they've made it in business by supplying toilet to private individuals, to business without tenders, by making sure they are innovative and creative. But these ones who are saying they are opposed to the EFF policy on abolishment of tenders is because they've got nothing to offer except the political connection. And that is corruption, and EFF requires no such business people who thrive through corruption. Our goal is to transition from a nation that exports raw material and imports finished goods to one that exports manufactured goods and services. This not only diversifies our trade profile but also strengthens our internal capacity, leading to job creation and skills development. This is the most practical way to shift from exports led by platinum, gold, iron ore, diamonds, and coal to labor-intensive export sectors such as textile, furniture and wood production, footwear and leather goods, seafood processing and agro-processing, semi-finished and finished goods. However, none of these changes can occur unless we tackle corruption head-on. We must strive for open, accountable, corrupt-free government and society free from fear of being victimized by the state. And we must do this aggressively and unapologetically. This is why we advocate for state agencies to possess the necessary relative autonomy, freeing them from the micromanagement and manipulation of the state. The heads of the National Prosecuting Authority, the Public Protector, Busimu Kweban, is also here with us today, the National Police Commissioner. All Chapter 9 institutions should be appointed by a joint merit-based process involving the executive, parliament, and judiciary. There should not be appointment by a president who could potentially manipulate those appointed through his or her capacity to make such appointment. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane is such an example of how the president can abuse his power if he's allowed to appoint the public protector. The public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, was suspended because he asked questions. He sent questions to the president. And the president said, how do you ask the big men questions? Where's you, African woman? You are disrespectful. From today you shall be harassed until you see your grave. Worry not, African woman. We are here with you. We will travel this journey with you until you are vindicated. One day history will absolve you. Commissars, fighters, and friends, reflecting on our journey and vision for the future of South Africa, it's important to acknowledge some of the milestones we have achieved, guided by the founding non-negotiable principles. When we arrived in Parliament, ANC members didn't know anything called illicit financial flows. Every time we spoke about illicit financial flows, they used to pull us aside. Can you explain this thing? That's when we suggested in Parliament, can we please have a joint workshop on illicit financial flows by the Portfolio Committee of Trade and Industry and Standing Committee on Finance in May 2015. For the first time they had that. There was something called illicit financial flows and tax avoidance. We arrived in Parliament to educate the illiterates. We have not only raised awareness but also provided practical solutions. We have offered concrete proposals for laws and policies that will combat illicit financial flows and curb base erosion and profit shifting. We also extended our efforts beyond Parliament and making oral submission to the Davis Tax Committee in July 2015. These actions have led to real results. For example, today, an interagency team led by the Financial Intelligence Center and including the National Prosecuting Authority, Director of Priority Crime Investigation, and the South African Revenue Services works to combat illicit financial flows. This collective effort was born out of our assertion that without cooperation between state institutions, these illicit flows will persist unchecked. We called it a cross-agency task team, a multidisciplinary team, and they call it inter-agency team, but it's the same concept we introduced when we arrived in Parliament. These are the people who say we are owned and controlled by Mazoti that they accuse of engaging in illicit financial cigarettes and all of that. Why would we engage as an organization of Mazoti in combating illicit financial flows to a point where we come up with committees to check that we avoid these illicit financial flows because we do not agree with anything that wants to undermine the law. And if Mazoti was owning the EFF or if Mazoti was engaged in illicit cigarette, he will not finance or support an organization that will undermine his operation to maximize in profit. So these two do not speak to each other. He supports this organization because he too is tired of illicit cigarette and illicit financial flows and tax avoidance in South Africa. He is tired of corruption and he speaks on a daily basis of how much he feels that the EFF should fight more to combat corruption and make sure that we restore South Africa to its former glory. Comrades, Eskom has collapsed. There is nothing more we can do to save Eskom for as long as these people who are in government now continue to control this government. We have said, fighters, it will be unwise to reflect on the past 10 years of unbroken struggle and not speak about how these people have collapsed the most important organ of our state. In everything we'll do in future, we must ensure that there is a dependable supply of electricity. Without electricity, many of our people who have supported us in the past will be left with no choice but to either close their operations or opt for relocation to other parts of the world where there is a reliable supply of electricity. We have made concrete proposals on various platforms and in areas where we govern, such as Ikuruleni, Nelson Mandela Bay, and eThekwini. We'll continue to implement this. We must do everything in our power to ensure that there is electricity supplied to all essential services and business. For as long as business does not get electricity, we must forget about growing the economy and creating jobs for most of our unemployed young people. We must look at the short and medium-term solution, which will use a combination of hybrids, off-grid, microgrid electricity solutions. We must engage trade partners in China and Russia who are willing to build, operate, and transfer contracts to build additional electricity generation capacity in shorter time frames in a more affordable way. We should continue to demand the National Treasury and all relevant departments and ministers establish a comprehensive conditional grant which will assist municipalities with hybrid and off-grid solutions that support businesses to continue operate even during load shedding. We must help all women to get business opportunities in both private and public sector. Our inability to empower women will perpetuate apartheid and colonial legacy. The youth, together with our women, should be at the center of our economic emancipation. We must empower women without seeking any favor from those women, because anyone who asks women or who wants to empower women and asks for sexual favors, that person is equally a rapist. If you hire women in exchange for sex, you are a rapist. If you give women business in exchange for sex, you are a rapist. You are not different from murderers, and you must be ashamed of yourself. When it comes to business, we must never look at sex as a prerequisite for the empowerment of our women. They are equally capable. They are not a tool to be used in a bedroom. They have the right to get all the amounts of tenders we give to men. They've got a right to be CFOs, and they can make better CFOs. Ask me, I know with this one of mine. If you give her money, you will struggle to get it back from her. You give her money and say, this is your money. She puts it and asks you for more money for food at home. And you say to her, what do you mean? Because I just gave you money. Oh, I thought it's mine. And then there will be another money for the house. That's how much they know budgeting women. They will sort all these problems for us, because where women lead, they lead better. And that's what this corrupt and collapsed government needs today, capable women who can take our government forward. Comrades, we must hire highly qualified people. And if you are a fighter and you are seated here and you have no qualifications, please know you have no place in the government of the EFF. I do not debate the CV of a person. Once the requirements are out and they say so is interested in the job but does not qualify, my response is always which I was taught by Castle Matale, by the way: find a suitable candidate. I don't care whether you are my friend or my relative. I will never hire you if you don't have the necessary qualification, because that is tantamount to killing our people. Today, we have a problem of sewer, we have a problem of potholes, we have a problem of the inability to deliver the most basic service delivery, because we did not hire people with qualifications. We hired who could shout the loudest slogan. We hired the most factionalist. We hired who supported the mayor during the ANC campaign, not who is the best man for the job. I don't care whether you are a UDM member or the ANC member or a DA member. As long as you are a South African and suitable for the job, you have a place in the government of the EFF. Your political affiliation means nothing to us. We want services delivered to our people. Fighters, service delivery must be at the center of everything we do. Service to our people should be at the center of everything we do, especially services to our black people. Big companies should, through procurement policy, be excluded from tenders like cleaning and supply. We need lifestyle audit of the officials in treasury and procurement officials in all departments at all levels of government. Because people earn very little money in government, yet they stay in Serengeti with big houses and big cars. And this is just a mere clerk in the procurement department or finance department of Ekurhuleni. You ask yourself, how does this person afford to get all of this? It is because they say to business people, before I pay your invoice, you have to give me 10% of your invoice. Then I will process your invoice. All of these thugs must be arrested and locked up because they are the ones who have collapsed many businesses in Ekurhuleni, in Johannesburg, in Tshwane, and everywhere else. We must never be friends with the so-called 30% cartels that have collapsed Eskom and that are collapsing eThekwini and many other municipalities. 30% cartels are nothing else but a gangster. A revolutionary can never be associated with gangsters. Every business person who got the job to do in Ekurhuleni must be protected by all fighters and community members to conclude that job without intimidation by 30% gangsters that exist everywhere else in South Africa. Otherwise, this country will become a gangster paradise. We must not fear criminals. No one owns or has got a monopoly of violence. As revolutionaries, we must never fear, must not be fearful of death, because we know that ultimately death will visit us. We must never be scared of anyone who seeks to undermine development of our country because he protects his criminal friends. All of us, as revolutionaries, must be at the front line to defend community development and fight crime and women abuse and child abuse. None of us must be found in conflict with their partners because you think you are the power that can never be touched. Everybody in South Africa that behaves like an untouchable, all EFF members must go and touch that person. No one is untouchable in South Africa. No one, including the children of the drug lords who go around bullying people in their clubs, who go around bullying people in their businesses because their fathers are known for being drug lords. We are not scared of you and your father, and we are not scared of you and your gangsters. This is a free country that all of us must trade for free without fearing anyone. Once I meet the requirement, that is the beginning and the end. I must never pay anyone out of intimidation. I must never pay anyone because my invoice must be paid. I must never pay anyone because I must get another job in the next tender. The day they give you an appointment letter, you will meet them again when you hand over that which you are appointed to do. And that should be a principle that characterized a businessman of the EFF. Do not fear these cowards. All of them, they are cowards. They pretend like they are brave. They are scared of jail. They are scared of death. And when we take over, we will demonstrate to you that we do not play with thugs. We put thugs to their place and will send them to jail for a very long time because South Africa has got no place for criminals. Why should people who pay tax, why should people who fear the law, why should people who are law-abiding be the ones with the high walls, and all of criminals and murderers stay in houses without walls, yet they do not respect the law? We who respect the law are scared of criminals. That's why we build big walls. But criminals live freely without big walls. Under the EFF government, we shall swap that. Criminals will fear the law, and the law-abiding citizens will abolish the big walls, and they will appreciate the beauty of their gardens without fear, because the state will protect them. Comrades, I was born to an epileptic single mother who said to me, Sello, the day you were born, God knew how you were going to die. And therefore, you must never be scared of death because it will come. It doesn't matter how beautiful you behave, you will die one day. And that's why I'm not scared of anything. I do that which I think in my conscience is the right thing. I don't care the amount of torture or intimidation or persecution. I'm guided by my political beliefs. Once I believe this is a correct thing to do, we do it. I don't care who says what. I know that one day history will absolve me. It was me and Floyd who sat the two of us in my house in Sandton. And we asked the question, what is the next step? My answer to him was, Floyd, we must make sure we don't go back to Polokwane if we are going to fight back these people. We must do everything in our power to stay in Johannesburg. Because in Polokwane we will not get the necessary support we want. We gathered every little resource that was left and made sure we serviced our rent for the whole year. Then took a decision that we are going to fight them and we are going to fight them hard. We did so, both of us, joined by many other revolutionaries in the journey to build this solid organization. Not a single day did I feel that Floyd is in a business of trying to betray me. Yes, never, not on a single day, showed me any sign of disrespect. Yes, always showed maximum respect to me and always expressed his views to me in a respectful manner. There's never been a day where I thought me and Floyd will not see each other the following day. We have always looked forward to seeing each other, to exchange ideas robustly. But there's something boring about him. Every time we drink, he waits until he gets sharp, and then he isolates me to a corner and wants to sharpen some idea he believes I didn't hear it properly. And that time I'm focused on dancing, even when I don't know how to dance. The guy will be trying to put some perspective into my mind, but he doesn't know because I'm more experienced than him. I will call either Mbuyiseni or Vuyani and say, come and listen here. This is a very important point. Then he comes and shifts his focus to Mbuyiseni or Vuyani. That way I disappear. And then I will see him the other day. He's a thinker. And he rides around 2 a.m. in the morning. And he can't ride without seeing the stars or without the moon. When he rides, he wants to sit outside and connect with the Spirit and his God. He's a strong believer in God. He's a very strong believer who, when he wants sharp ideas, despite having read a lot, he still seeks wisdom so that whatever he writes makes sense. We complement each other like that. We are not in a competition with each other. And I've made it very clear to Floyd, the day you get tired of me, don't go and organize against me. Just tell me, I think you have served your term. It is time to go. I will leave without putting up a fight because I will know it's a friendly fire and it comes from a good place. The problem starts when you start organizing against me, and I hear it in the corners. I'm very ruthless against people who do such things to me. So never try that with me. And he knows that because I've never lost a conference in my entire life. And no one I supported has ever lost a conference in my entire life. I'm a tactician. I always plan my way. And I always plan to the extreme. When I get married, I imagine the day of divorce. I don't stay on the day of happiness. I've already lived my day of divorce. Even when they visit me, they will never shake me because I've seen them before. I plan in advance. Even with politics, the day I get into a position, that is the day I prepare my exit. That's why I will never trouble you. When they expelled me, I never put up a fight. I went to farm cabbages, and they followed me. And once you follow me, I told you, do not conspire against me in the corners, because I will plan my comeback. And when I do so, I'm very ruthless. I don't play games. And I do so without hesitation. I tell you on your face, a war has been declared. Let's fight. Because I'm not a coward. I don't conspire around against those I work with. Comrades, all of these people who have worked with me, Talimpofu, Godrich Gadi, Liane Mateis, Kengwem Kalipi, all of them know that we don't have to be friends. They know that I want work ethics. That we must all do that which is expected from us. You must be loyal. You must serve the cause. You must be disciplined and serve the organization. By serving the organization, you are serving your people. I've worked with them. For the first time, I never had to fight with them, because we all did what was expected of us. Dali was one of the oldest, followed by Godrich. Not once did they go around boasting with their age. They've always said, this is our leader and shall be given the respect he requires, and we shall serve to the best of our ability. They did so until they released themselves to concentrate on their professions. That's what leadership is about. The same thing with the current leadership of Marshal Dlamini, Poppy Mailula, Veronica Mente, Ompile Mautu. All of us, we are here to serve. We don't have to be the best of friends. We don't have to be the relatives. Don't force yourself to do the EFF work. It must come from your belly. It must be that you want to do it. Don't do it and go around boasting and giving us attitude as if you are doing us a favor. You have done it so beautifully. That's why all the activities we have planned, they've become successful, because comrades have woken up in the morning and went to do what is expected of them. That is what we are known for. These 10 years is a 10 years of hard work by hard-working women and men who are disciplined and ready to serve. Ego will never help any of us. We always have to humble ourselves and serve the people of South Africa. Let me thank the Shibambo family. I know what you have went through. I know what your children are going through. Some of them will never be employed because they carry your surname. By virtue of the association with Floyd and me, worry not. The revolution will never swallow its own children. It will look after them. It will never abandon them. I know that Floyd bought his parents a house, and at some point they wanted to take it from his parents because they wanted to inflict pain in him and throw his parents away. And when he told me that story, that the house of his parents was in danger, I had no worry at all. Nothing shaken me, because I knew he was now paying the price. That's what you must pay Floyd for standing against the establishment. They will not in exchange give you roses. They are going to fight back, and they are going to fight back very hard. When that visits you, do not despair, because I've been there before. The only thing I did, I confronted them, and I was too young, and I confronted them and I won against them. I'm too old now, married man with 3 boys. I can't be scared of them. When I was not scared of them when I was young. Don't be scared of them. They always threaten. They've got no teeth to bite. They want to see to what extent can you push. And I've seen you pushing against the establishment. And the establishment is not happy with you. And they know that you are not happy with them. The feeling is mutual. I thank the Malema family. Just 3 weeks ago, SARS visited my aunt's home because his son was associated with me, and that because they wanted to inflict pain in me, they could not find me. They could not stop at anything but to go and intimidate my aunt in her house with her husband, which has got no address of my cousin, has got no name of my cousin, but because they knew where the mother stayed, they just wanted to bully her and intimidate her. When my cousin called me, I was at the school of my child, my lastborn, with my wife, playing on a carpet. I did not see his so many missed calls because the boy was so scared. He didn't know what was going to happen to his mother's house. And when I called him and I asked him, what's happening? Why so many calls? He said SARS and the sheriff and this and that were at my mom's house, so I didn't know what to do and all of that. I just responded to him in one way: I'll call back, do not worry. And that's when I started pressing the buttons. Every politician needs his Indian. I called Mo. I said to Mo, there is a problem coming, and I can tell you we are at 99% of resolving it. No amount of those things can ever intimidate me. And even with person who comes with such problems, I've seen it all when I was too young. I've lived a life of an 8-year-old at 42 years old. So I carry with me the hopes of lots of families, and I have no reason to fear, because if I'm scared, these families will be in a devastated situation. My family has always stood by me. My aunts have always stood by me. My cousins have always stood by me. My friends have always stood by me. I am nothing without you. That's why I will forever be indebted to you. All of you have always come around me and made sure that you provided a wall of protection. You still do the same to date. One of my cousins abandoned his businesses just recently to go and stay at the EFF farm to oversee the slaughtering of 100 cows and make sure that everything goes accordingly. I don't confuse that to be stupidity. I know that that is support. Our mothers taught us that. When your mom was still alive, would have been here and would have done the same. You carried the baton from your mom and continued with it. So there's nothing special you are doing except to follow in your footsteps of your mother. I always watch from a distance, and I don't talk a lot when it comes to those issues, but I appreciate those types of interventions that all of you individually always make to make sure that I succeed, and in extension our organization succeed. I know that many of you would have been rich by now. Many of you will be working in prominent positions by now, but the same name Malema has costed you. I've not chosen to be your cousin. Neither did you choose to be my cousin. We find ourselves in this situation. We have to carry it, all of us. My wife, it's going to be more difficult going forward, because as the state loses power, the state becomes more mad. So you should be ready for more challenges ahead, because you were there when we started and you came in when we were already in the Parliament of South Africa. Now we're moving into government and the enemy is not happy. The first thing the enemy will do is to attack the home so that they can weaken me. If they find a weak partner, they will collapse this house of my grandmother. This family of mine belongs not to me, it belongs to my grandmother. This organization doesn't belong to me, it belongs to my grandmother and the people of South Africa. And I've said to a grave, I will never fail you, and I will never fail you. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the President of the EFF. Thank you very much, the Commander-in-Chief and the President of the EFF. We are going to continue with our program. We have to minimize the levels of the noise because our program has to run very smoothly. And earlier on, when the President referred to the contribution of women to the economy, I looked around the house and I saw too much masculinity. And the face of economy in this country is men. That is why this house is almost having too many of the men than women. That has to change. As the organization, we believe in giving back, and we continue to give services to the people of this country. And we have a social program of giving back to the people. Ever since we started with all the activities of the 10th anniversary, we started identifying homes around the country in each and every province. It's either a children's home or an old age home. I'm going to call upon our communications to now play the work of the EFF that we have been doing to show you that as much as we are not in government, in the entire country, but what we say we will do and commit to, it gets done. We'll never leave our people for as long as we can afford to save their lives. Commissar Tambo, I'm giving over to you to play.
We are doing long-lasting legacy projects that people will remember that when EFF turned 10 years, this is what it did for us.
Struggle has been a remarkable voyage of growth, especially in power and influence. Throughout this journey, one thing remains unchanged: our commitment to the people. The dignity of African people is our core focus as we strive to elevate our pride as a nation. The essence of the EFF lies in our profound connection to the people, a bond forged by love, compassion, and joy. Without our people, there is no EFF. They are the heart and soul of our movement.
My name is Florence Mamorena Taji. Ke hlala mona 1992 Gelekwaartse Groenstad Noki. Because I was in 1991 mona re fumana ngwana a bewe Stupumane. Re sa tsebe kwa mama se re monka ana le 2 days.
We fixed their borehole, updated their water piping to provide running water, and restored their in-house electrical system, ravaged by the flames that once engulfed their roof. We know that real change lies not only in grand gestures, but also in the practical actions we take. By addressing these fundamental needs, we bring tangible improvements to the lives of those in need, offering them comfort, safety, and accessibility. These are the essential elements that define our humanity.
This is beyond just an orphanage. It's a calling to serve those who cannot do anything for themselves. So Renar le EFF re tlamona re tlo celebrate 10 years. Re celebrate le maqheku, re celebrate the orphan, re celebrate with disabled people, because we don't expect anything in return. Because when we say we are for the downtrodden masses of our people and the dejected masses of our people, we mean those who cannot do anything for themselves and for you. So when you live here, a lot of children's attitude to life would have changed by your presence here, by what you have done, because you are saying to them, someone out there loves you.
So EFF every time, so snow is na go sa lemo. Tshwantse metsi a sa tletse ka tlhoka mo. Tshwantse re tswe bosiu, re kwale dipompo re etse EFF re thusa hore ta ke go phomole re sena tsa selema. Go le sa bigile happy. Ne ke dula ke le set, no ke very happy. Ba re thusitse ka sa tlhoka ke rekela bana metsi, hobane metsi a ditshila bana bana metsi ba sekolo ka ona, ba nketse ditse ba nketse ke football, ba nketse filtera, ba pentile. Le mona mo tlo sa khona o pentea, ba pentile. Na sa ba di pilisa bana ba disabled, re sa ba di pilisa bana, re na le bana ba positive mona, ba na di ERV, ba na di ne profile, a ke tse tseo. Tsela tse bana ba dina, ha o ya tlinking ha dio. Maria FF e tse go di pilisa. Ha re sa soka di pilisa ba ka tama.
In the Northern Cape, we headed to Homotseho Old Age Center. This home for the elderly was in dire need of some tender, loving care.
Ngwagenye ke ngwagenye le tlhogonolo. Ngwagenye ke ngwaga ya Kgomotsego e kreile masego. Ke ngwaga e ke sa itseng gore a ke tla ile bana ka gore ke tshogetse. Le hangitla ke le bala ka se ke se boneng se tlisiwa ke ma EFF ga ke itse gore a ba gopotse bagolo ka gore bana ba dira ene dira 10 years oro gono go ntse go galakega mo maikutlong a bona. Ke lebogile thata ha ke tsena ke bona ya ka go ntse ga ke batle go ya kgakala o ka re go tsogega dilo dingwe. Ga ke batle go ya kgakala o ka re go tsogega dilo dingwe. Mme jaanong se se gone hela ke re ke a lo leboga ma EFF, ke leboga botlhe ba ba leng gone, ke a leboga.
There's a lot of things that EFF have done around. Today we have experienced a lot on Batlarus, on Kgomotsego Bagodi. They have improved the water, and then they also build the toilet. They have renewed the toilet and the tanks and everything. It was well celebrated.
Yasifakela isolar system saqamba inene uyehova uyivile imithandazo yethu kangakuba mna bendisi kanti pha endlini yam futhi kuba yi-load shed omakhulu bam nkosi yam balele bumnyameni. Ndiye ndifike ke apha kusasa xa ndithatha ii-rounds babuze ndilele njani, bendilele bumnyameni. Besilele bumnyameni kodwa mntanam uThixo ukhona. Uyabona ke yiloo nto ndisithi uyehova uyivile imithandazo yethu yofika nakwi-EFF. Siyavuya ke ngoku sixhuma siyavuya kakhulu kuba i-EFF iye yasifakela ii-panels ezi-18 ze-solar system. Nathi ngoku yaba yi-load shedding silala kamnandi sibe siyazi uba oomama bethu abebesikhulisa kuba kaloku abamakhulu balapha ekuphumleni bayafana ngathi ngabazali kuthi kuba ngoomama bethu aba bethwala ii-bags bephangele belungile bephangela kabuhlungu ngoba nathi sizuze impumela sibe zezinto sizizo namhlanje ngenxa yoomama bethu.
the EFF took charge, restoring light and warmth to the facility. We provided electricity, fixed the geysers, and painted the walls, transforming it into a place of comfort and beauty. No longer would the residents have to endure darkness, for we aimed to create a conducive environment for all.
By the way, CIC is the EFF is the only party in the 39 years. I didn't say 5 years. In the 39 years that made this gesture is a historical gesture from a political party. So thank you for that. Ndo yembeko, empathy, sense of person-to-person interface.
In Limpopo, we headed to Mukhalakawena Hospice. In our continued dedication to the elderly, recognizing their struggle with water supply, we took action, installing 2 boreholes to ensure a consistent flow of water. We worked tirelessly, cleaning the rooms, constructing bathrooms, and providing them with a washing machine, a transformation that brought a significant difference to their living conditions.
Ale campaign fela le re tlo ya dia ye re bone ka matlo ne ke sa tshepe ge ba tsena ba re ba mokonya mare ka go thusha ka eng ka re ai ba tlhole ba tla ba re ba re thusha ba fetsa ba ja tšhelete tša gona ba sepela mamotla le mpontšitše pono ye ke pono e ke leng gore ke mathomo sa le re thoma old age mo ka 2016 ke mathomo ke bona ka lena ntate Maleba ene ka itumela
Tusha mbalets bong rauna ntubagar diela yo. Reba tushe out of love, out of commitment to help black people.
Western Cape at Alcana Childcare in my Mainsbury, a safe home and an after-school program for over 100 children. We embarked on a mission of love and compassion by adorning the house with a touch of care and made sure to gift school uniforms to the children, spreading smiles that radiated warmth. In KZN, we went deep into the rural village of Entokozweni, and home for elderly care, journeying to a remote old-age home nestled beside an early childhood development center. With a profound outreach for HIV-positive children, we embraced the essence of our purpose. Celebrating in the heart of rural KZN, we showcased our dynamic nature, shattering the notion that we're merely an urban party. Our dedication knows no bounds, and we ventured where others may hesitate, embracing those often forgotten by society.
Where we adopted 20 children who are orphaned, and we are going to take them best schools in Mafikeng and make sure they've got a better home and their lives are protected.
In the northwest, we headed to Lihai La Muteo, a child and youth care center for young girls. With determination and compassion, we worked tirelessly to improve the facility. We painted the house, fixed the roof, fixed the electrical wiring, and bought new kitchen appliances, beds, and many more essential items to enhance their daily lives. In Gauteng, we went to the Zanele Munchali Disabilities Home at 4 Ngumalo Road and the Kutsong Home for Disabled Kids. We managed to transform their world for the better with solar panels, ushering in a new era of reliable power source in the face of load shedding.
We are here to care for these children. We don't care, Mr. President, for who's going to say what. Who's going to say that we don't have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a we are going to care for these children and support as an EFF.
A celebration of our 10th anniversary filled the air, but we knew that true joy resided in being surrounded by those who needed us the most.
Mpumalanga, we headed to Siyonqoba Daycare for the disabled. Upon receiving the school's distressing news about their outdated kitchen, we immediately sprang into action. Our commitment to uplifting our communities led us to a swift solution, renovating the kitchen. In addition to the previous improvements, we took extra measures to enhance the children's learning and play environment by fitting their classrooms with rubber mats. These rubber mats offer a safe and comfortable space for the children to engage in various activities, play, and learn.
Now 25 years, ke bereka ka bana bana. Ba bang ba bona setse ba go dira golo. So kra gore morena malema ke leboga thata ke bile ke ba ke na le letswalo la gore o ya direga se ke se direga o ka nnete na. Ene ke na le tshepa gore go emelela gwa gago go tswa mo Delmas ke mo re tlo go pulega ntsi pushong ya rena gore go na le batho Delmas ba kile go babe ba khotlelela le khotlelelo le le ka.
Now the children and teachers can experience ease and comfort in their daily lives.
I
want to say to Malema that God bless you and God continue blessing you and continue protecting you.
Jo Jamoleboha, Julius Malema talking to Juju, in a baby and I'm on that 10 days, Kerele Julius, Obani Rufane. Julius.
And then Ronald Trashia 100,000 cash reverse golo
In addition to the previous efforts made in each home, the EFF generously donated an extra 100,000 rands to each facility. We encourage you to join this compassionate endeavor and make a difference by also donating to the facility of your choice. Please find the donation details displayed on your screen and seize this opportunity to contribute to the betterment of these communities. Viva EFF, viva!
It's been 10 years now. I come back a brand new, yeah. It be like saying that it's been 10 years, you've been with me. You stand by me. We're building power. It's been 10 years, you've been with me. You stand by me. We're building power. Cause engineering is all I see. trust in me. You show me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I see dinner is being served. Whilst we are enjoying our dinner, we must move quickly to our next item, which is also an extension of empowerment and our social programs in the EFF. And we are going to call upon the founding DSG of the EFF, Commissar Hlengiwe Mkhaliphi. And I'm going to request that Commissar Vuyani, Commissar Lien, Commissar Tambo, and Commissar Rebecca, let's please assist the children that will be coming up on the stage so that the process is seamless and we do it as quickly as possible. Let's listen to our little children and let's listen to the DSG. DSG.
Amandla. 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 Thank you very much, National Chair. Greetings to the President and Commander-in-Chief and his beautiful wife and the family. Greetings to the Deputy President with our beautiful daughter, with the family, SG, with his beautiful wife, DSG, and the TG. Also the CCT members who are present here, and the PCT members who are here, and the regional command team who are here. Can we lower our voices because we are also going to start a very important program of empowering our youngsters. I'm here to present the winners of the high school essays and a winner in terms of a poetry. President, when he spoke here, he highlighted the fact that we as an organization, we take very serious the issue of education. So one of the legacy, after we have watched the videos whereby the president was going in all provinces to hand over some gift in the provinces, in all provinces of 9 provinces in this country. And now we have invited our future leadership, which are high school learners who have entered into a competition of writing about the history of EFF as we are embarking on the journey of celebrating our 10 years. Without waste of time, I would like to invite them. They will come to the stage and they will receive their gifts from the EFF. Apart from the gift that they are going to get here, they are the organization because they have won. There were so many young people from high school and from the society in terms of the poetry who have entered into this competition. But amongst them, and I must also emphasize for the fact that these 10 winners, they were selected by the independent judges. So the EFF were not involved in terms of selection. So we ought to respect the process that we embarked on and to celebrate these future leaders because without them, the country is nothing. The first winner in the category of isiZulu is Sinothando Gumede from Umlazi Comprehensive Technical School from Durban. I would like to invite her from the stage with her parent to come and receive her gift. say a few words, Noltando.
Hi guys, my name is Notando Kumete and I'm from Umlazi. Firstly, I'd like to thank my father here. He's the one who introduced me to EFF. And I'm so happy to be here and I'm looking forward to the night. Thank you.
Shayezani izandla bakwethu. Thank you, Sinothando Kumete. The second winner is Kgologano Regane from Hans Kekana Secondary School, Majaneng Northwest, in the category of isiXhosa. Please welcome. Kgologano, are you in the house? Okay. All right, we pass. The third winner is Karabo Mohanegi from the English category. Karabo is from Gauteng, guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karabo Mokhanedi. Firstly, I'd like to thank my father who also introduced me to EFF. And I'd like to shout out to Honorable Ndlozi. I love him so much. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sisi. Oh, Kgologano is here to receive his gift as well. Please come to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kolano Ringane and I'm from Hans Kegano. I would like to thank EFF for what they have done for me. And I would like
Come to the microphone.
I stand before you tonight. I in immense gratitude and joy as the representative of this prestigious essay competition award. It is truly an honor and recognized for my writing abilities, and I am incredibly humbled by this achievement. However, tonight I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt appreciation to someone who has played an instrumental role in my success. Behind every great accomplishment, there is an often person who silently worked behind the scenes, providing guidance and support and encouragement in my case. That individual is none other than our dedicated, hard-working secretary. But it does not stop there. Our ward secretary has consistently championed the importance of education and self-development with our community, for organizing educational workshops to mentoring aspiring writers. They have been a constant source of inspiration for not only myself but for many others as well. Their commitment of fostering an environment of learning and growth has truly made a difference in life of countless individuals. I can't express how I fortunate felt to have had their unwavering support through this journey. The guidance and enjoyment provided by our ward secretary has been invaluable. They believed in my potential when I doubted myself and encouraged me to push my boundaries and continuously pushed me towards excellence. Without their belief, this achievement will not be possible. Tonight, as we gather to celebrate our success, I want to take a moment of publicly acknowledge and express my deep-set gratitude to our remarkable ward secretary. The unwavering dedication, commitment, and belief in the potential of every ward member have undoubtedly shaped the course of my journey. To our ward secretary, I want to say thank you. Thank you for believing in me and for helping me to achieve my goals. And your support have been instrumental in my success. And I am forever grateful for the positive impact you have made in my life. In conclusion, it is essential to recognize and appreciate the individuals who help pave the way for our achievement. The dedication and support often too unnoticed, but the impact resonated deeply with our hearts. Tonight, I hope my word serves as token of appreciation, not only for our ward secretary, but for all those unsung heroes who work tireless to make a difference in our life. Thank you all for joining us on this memorable tonight, and thank you to my incredible ward secretary, Amanda.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The fourth winner goes to Hloniphile Khumalo, who won on the category of Isindebele from Intitugo Secondary School, Siyabuswa Mpumalanga. Okay, we pass. Hloniphile Mtungwa.
Chance Chavaseketu. Kapocha menga pamugwenu nguhloniphile Khumalo. Ngithanda ukuthokoza umamami, ngithokoze ekhaya, ngithokoza ubhutami ngokungigcugcuzela ukuthi ngingenele iphaliswano le. Amandla.
Thank you very much, Mamtungwa. The fifth winner is Boitumelo Metiso. Owine kwi-category yesiswati from Sintiti le secondary school kwaNyamazane eMpumalanga. Kwangathi Mpumalanga is whooping everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Standing in front of you, Metiso Boitumelo, all the way from Mpumalanga in Kanyamazane. I'd like to thank my uncle for supporting me and helping me in writing this. This essay. Please forgive me. I am very speechless. I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you.
Thank you very much, Baba. The sixth winner is Sbusiso Yukhom Shetrek. Where is Sbusiso?
pain and strain. We becoming victims of love. Something so deep and
I'm SABC van Hoërskool Hooptown. Ek wil net sê dankie aan my pa vir hierdie groot geleentheid wat hy my gebring het. En dankie vir die EFF. En aan my ma en ouma almal wat daar by die huis is. Dankie.
Baya dankie Sibusiso. The seventh winner is Maitwarelo Tintwa, a winner on the category Setswana from Northwest. Northwest.
Amonate wa puo ya Setswana. Ke naya mogologolo se ditsi fa re se dimoseditse gore madume ke tshimologo ya dikgang. Dumelang bana ba mmala wa sebino, dumelang bana ba garantsunyana. Kana madume gantsholo badi, madume ke segaitsho ba gaitsho dumela. Tswana people, you are represented. Halala taung halala. Halala Pinahar High School Halala. And a special thank you to my parents and Remutusi Muntwedi. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sisi. The eighth winner is Orifa Matoma from Lipopo, from the category of Shivenda.
Kwana batho bote ne nenga sina ni fima thoma Orifa uva Limpopo Muraleni. Ningatama uri bua batho bote ba nane through this journey, most especially my sister. It wasn't easy, but then we made it.
Thank you very much. The ninth winner is Relebohile Ngozo from Free State on the category of Sesotho.
Halala Basotho halala. Kapila lona ke khosatsana ya Bataung na manetshehla sebata. All the way from Free State, Qwaqwa. Qwaqwa le teng. Ke a leboha. A great evening to the program director, the EFF leadership, high school essay competition winners, the member of the media, and every honored peoples in this house. I'm very much honored to be gathered here to celebrate the 10 years of unbroken struggle of the economic freedom fighters. Madiba himself said, open quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world," close quote. To be here shows that economic freedom fighters is on the right track in assuring that there's quality education in South Africa and surely making education fashionable. Thank you.
Your gift. Thank you very much, Sisi. The last winner, which is the 10th one from the category of Sepedi, is Tabejo Ramoncha from Gauteng.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dumelang batho ka moka ka mo holong. Nna ke nna Tlabego Ramoncha. Ka ge le bona ke winne high school SA competition ke ngwaile ga Speed. Ke representa Speed ke le mo. Ka ge na lo go tshoganyana o ke tshaba batho. Barai. David in Tabisha Pool, regular more important to represent the school of Saga, city secondary school, and Mr. Zwan, I Arvuncha, Linkia SA competition, Kimo, group in your 12D, LCD secondary school, I rejoin and Redrega Malamaburi, Nagariaga. Nagin Namopi, so get the legas pay. To represent Amapi, Gamoga in Popo. Ratole boale Mr. Mjapilu o khola mo nna re ka thupa sefokasedi ene ke stupile se se sona ene ke a khola re mo aleng gona o lebeletse ene o thabile ga mpona ke le mo ke sore sefokasedi a mantšha ke nao.
Thanks very much. Those are our 10 winners on the high school SA competition. And all of them, they are going to receive 40,000 each from the organization. Now, let me take this opportunity to announce the winner. A winner is a poetry who writes a very interesting poet about the organization. His name is Musa Baloyi from Soweto in Gauteng. Please come to the stage.
Thank you very much. My name is Musa Baloyi. I would like to thank EFF for allowing my talent to rise and shine. I didn't write the poem. When EFF established in 2013, it was writing its own history. So I copied from what it was doing. That was the practical thing. Kumera malembe a hi ntanga ya munhu. Loko u tswariwa a hi nga swi tivi leswaku u hi tisela homu muni. Kasi ku veleka i vukosi. Afrika-Dzonga namuntlha yi phyuphyile hikuva a yi ximbangi. Wena EFF, you vaccinated the vampire that were vandalizing the economy of South Africa. Next year, you are going to bombard the enemy that is utilizing the tax of taxpayers. I want to pray for you. Our Father who art in heaven, Your will must be done on earth as it is in heaven. Please give us EFF to govern South Africa forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Musa Baloyi. The poetry have won 50,000 rand. I don't hear you guys. 50,000 rand from the organization. The organization that does not have money. So thanks very much, National Chair. For you, if you want to read about their essays, you can always, through our Radical Voice, you can also check the link from our social network, and then you can read through. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, DSG, Commissar Hlengwe Mkhaliphi. Sibulele kwi presidency for presenting those awards. Kaninboleke indlebe, please. Can we be quiet for a moment? This is the time where we plead with you for both the social programs that were presented here, that you open your hearts, you open your pockets, and you see a black child that wants to get somewhere in life and have a brighter future. At the end of the first video, there were banking details of each and every home. Let's please quietly get in touch with those different homes. If you did not get to see the banking details, please look at them on our Radical Voice as well as our social media. But our Office of the Treasurer General and the Office of Communications will gladly also assist with the banking details of the homes. And let's adopt the children. And what is beautiful about what happened here on stage, 6 out of those 10 were girls. Let's adopt children and make sure they have a better future. They must reach the university stage after being here and being presented before the people who's got more deeper pockets than others. Now we are going to continue with our program, and we are going to call upon Nomfundo Mo to come on stage. She will be followed by Tsidi Muhulu, and then after that, the Treasurer General is going to present a toast. Nomfundo Mo, the stage is yours, followed by Tsidi Muhulu.
Thank you for having me today. is still young, as Gaga Kuti. A song that joy.